Hello, everyone. I just wanted to go over how you're going to get started with the Forest Friend digital painting. There are multiple steps to this assignment, so you're going to want to make sure that you're checking out the handouts to be able to know what your next step is going to be. So I'm just going to reference the presentation that I gave you. And the first thing you want to do is start with your idea board. You're going to find 6 to 8 pictures of your animal. Try to find a variety of positions, full body, some close-up details, and then you're going to copy and paste them into this idea board. And it'll be one place for you to take and have all of your resource images. Now, once you have all of your pictures in here, it's a really great idea to bring your idea board into Photoshop so that you can look at the pictures as you're working. So when you're done putting your pictures in here, what you can do is go to File, Download, PDF document, and make it a PDF document so that you can open this in Photoshop. Because now all I got to do is go to Photoshop. I'm going to go to Open, and I'm going to find where I put it, Idea Board, and it's going to pop up as Import, and all you got to do is click on OK, and it's just going to bring in the thumbnail. And all of your pictures should be on it, and now you have it in Photoshop, so you can use this to draw from. Now, the second part is reference sketches. So you're going to look at those pictures and you're going to draw your animal. And this is going to allow you to be able to practice and start to identify the shapes of your animal and identify unique characteristics to use and think about when you're doing your painting. My examples of an otter, so a lot of the shapes are ovals with the feet, the long tail, and whiskers, and those are really specific characteristics that makes up the otter. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take reference photos. So here's my otter reference pictures. Mine's the screenshot of my Pinterest board. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull this tab out, and I'm going to pull it right up against my toolbox. You'll see this blue line pop up. And now I've got 2 windows open. I'm going to make a new reference page. So I'm going to go up to either File New or the little home page and click on Create New. Letter size, right? Print, letter, and I'm going to rename it. And I want to rename it what we would always do for our assignments, and that's your name, grade, and I'm going to call this Animal Reference. Long title, but name it what it is. I can change the orientation if I want, or I can just go down and click on Create. So now I have my reference pictures and I have my blank document that I can now start my reference pictures with. So a couple things to get you started. I'm going to make a new layer because I don't want to draw on my background. I want to draw on a blank layer. I'm going to come to the brush, make sure I have the brush tool selected, and I'm going to reset my colors to black and white. I want to paint my sketches with just a black line. I now am going to right click, and it's going to allow me to choose brushes. So there's lots of options here that are sort of the default with the program. And I also have some here that I've been playing around with that I imported. So I'm going to start with a dry media brush, and I'm going to start with either the Kyle Ultimate Pencil or the Drawing Box Happy HB. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this pencil to sketch out my lines. I'm also going to use the Wacom tablet to and use the stylus to do my drawings. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Right, I've got my pencil. It's pressure sensitive, the lighter, less pressure, and it gets darker as I push down harder with the stylus. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my reference pictures, and I can zoom in, and I can start to practice drawing the animal. So I'm going to grab the pencil, right, that tool, and I'm going to start to identify basic shapes. I'm going to figure out sort of the curve of the body. Legs. Kind of have these webbed feet. And I can use the picture sort of as reference, right? And sort of use it to draw and recreate. At some point, though, once you start getting more comfortable, you're going to actually draw from your imagination what you think the animal position might be. I can use the E brush to switch to eraser, so I can erase away lines. I will probably use the Control Z key a lot to undo. And then I'm just going in and I'm playing and I'm just practicing between the brush and the eraser tool the characteristics that will make up my animal. Right? And you just go in and practice different positions and identifying those characteristics. And then you're going to fill up your page with all of the different practice ones. So I did a bunch, and then I actually transformed the layer, made it smaller, and then I did more just from my imagination, transformed it, made that layer smaller. That was layer 2. And then I did layer 3 with ones totally from my imagination. And then once you sort of get a feel for how the animal looks, how you can draw it, make sure there's certain characteristics that sort of show it. A fox has a fluffy tail and then it's red and white, or a panda is sort of really round with black and white. And then you're going to make a new canvas just like this, and you'll call it 3 sketches, and you'll draw the boxes for your thumbnails, and you'll draw in your animal, and you'll draw in the environment, right? What do you want the background to look like? It can be really design oriented, or it can be more realistic, like here's the otter on a rock with the space around them. Or like here I have more circles and sort of an unrealistic space, right? I got a circle with waves in it. But that's something you're going to play around with. Your animal needs to be in it. It needs to clearly be the animal that you've chosen. And you need to include the environment around it. Okay, so that's the first step, is learning your animal, practicing your animal, and doing some practice sketches. There will be a separate tutorial that I'm going to go over how to do a final sketch and apply color to your final document.